Happiness, not measurable, profitable, or tradable, is yet above all else in the world. It is what all people seek, but happiness, the intangible thing, like air or water, is tough to grasp in one's hand. Happiness cannot be defined as well. It is individual to each person, and everyone has their own definition of happiness. As for me, happiness is being accepted for who you are and being content with what you have, and doing what you really believe. What makes people happy is also varied. To be happy is a fleeting thing, which we enjoyed so much and often want back as soon as possible. The mom holding her baby who just took a shower with limp and warm water covered must be happy. The doctor who is saying goodbye to his well-heeled patient must be happy. The kid who just finished building his own castle on the beach must be happy. And the author who just write down the last sentence of his work must be happy too. However, my happiness comes from a sense of my accomplishment and achievement, like running. I used to dislike running. If you don't win this game, you are all running 5 miles tomorrow. My soccer ball coach used to run. During the last days of October, when the average temperature seemed to be decreasing exponentially, and so occasionally, my grief-stricken team would run numerous miserable laps around the fields. Anyone would have thought that I'd be off the team in a few days. But the last week of the January caught me splashing through battles of the melted ice, and February winds near blew me off the track. I look forward to practices this time around, to the claps and the persistent cheers of my friends. I was feeling a rather high spurred by the endorphins released by exercise. That is my experience of gaining the real happiness. Happiness is also derived from a strong constitution and to have a shoulder to lean on when my days are going bad. The relationship with my family has helped me look forward for my future and is a huge element of my happiness. Just as Thomas Jefferson says, the happiness of domestic fireside is the firstborn of heaven. Over half of the entries in my journal involved some interaction or thought of my family. When I was studying in China, this happiness includes the Sunday lunches with my family, the heart-to-heart talk with my father or sister, and the exciting games with my cousins. However, when I left my hometown to Canada, 1,000 miles away from my family, every reunion, every meeting, or even every chat with them becomes so precious that the value of this happiness also increased a lot. But everyone has to move forward with the hope and fear of the future, just as Einstein ever said. If you want to live a good, happy life, tie it to a goal, not to a person or things. Happiness cannot be gained without goals. My dream may sound like a mirage, but I'm really putting efforts into it. I want to be an extraordinary investor. Slim as the chances to success are, my newfound desperate desire drove me onward. While my friends spend their leisure time singing karaoke, I spend days in the library acquiring as much knowledge about finance as I could. While my friends spend their money on frivolous purchases, I pinched every penny I earned and considered how to make full use of them. I slept every night, satisfied that I had moved one step closer to my dream. Meanwhile, the process of earning money from housework, tutoring, or even opening online stores gradually became a joy in and of itself. Yes, I gained happiness from the progress I have made in the tough path to my dream. So, how can we increase our happiness, and what will block the way to happiness? From the numerous sources we have studied this semester, we can get the answer. Some of them indicate what behaviors will prevent an increase in happiness. For example, Miss Bro. The protagonist, Miss Bro, blurs the line between fantasy and reality on an ordinary Sunday outing to the public park. She imagines she's taking part in the grand play, when in reality she's just merely sitting here on a bench observing the world around her. As a solitary old woman, Miss Bro attempts to find joy in her own way. However, she cannot get the real happiness because she is trapped in her own dream world and will not accept anything that will disrupt her own happiness. Let's look at these two quotes. The first one. Miss Bro recalls last Sunday's old Englishman and her company woman, whom Miss Bro wanted just to shake because the woman scorns the companionship Miss Bro lacks in her life. She is indignant at them and even wishes them to break up due to the things she does not own. Her venting her discontents with her own life on the couple is too selfish. And the second quote, in Miss Bro's eyes, everyone in the park is in a play, and she's just the center of this play. Her trivializing the real life and regarding other people as characters are morbidly selfish. She wants others to act in the way she would like to see, in the way she can get pleasure. This illusion of her own dream world blocks her way to the real happiness. So we can draw the conclusion that isolation from the reality and living in your own imaginary world cannot bring happiness. Another example can be the Cargo Mask episode. The protagonist, Cargo Mask, is disappointed and bored with his wife and wants more out of his mundane life. When he is given the opportunity to enter any book and interact with the characters, he takes advantage of the opportunity by irresponsibly flee away from the real world. Let's see the two quotes. As a husband, Cargo Mask is supposed to have the responsibility of her wife. However, he still yearns for the romance, love, and beauty. This longing for an affair with the French lover symbolizes his betrayal and the responsibility of his current wife. And the second quote, after the problems are solved, the Cargo Mask promises, I earned my lesson. I'll never cheat again, I swear it. He still asks Persky for the trip to another novel. He did not keep his words and put Persky and himself to the dangers and flee away from his wife again. His way to gain happiness is extremely selfish. So, we can know, ignoring the responsibility you have and seeking for unrealistic love and romance cannot bring real happiness. And just the saying says, be happy with what you have and are. Be generous with both, and you won't have to hunt for happiness. Also know some other keys to happiness in Of Mice and Men. This story portrays both the feelings of happiness and joy, and the feelings of sadness, depression through the mutual friendship of two uncomely men, George and Nanny, the dream they both share, the sudden calamity that befell them. When we look at the first quote, we can know that Nanny may not be able to look out for George, but he does what he can for his friend, like giving him all the imaginary ketchup. George and Nanny need each other to support, comfort, sympathize, and overcome the obstacle. The friendship depicted in the novel is an important key to happiness. The second quote, all of Nanny's future is wrapped up in rabbits. On the one hand, it is nice to have a concrete goal, but on the other hand, this is very unrealistic for him if George wanted to become president. They both do not recognize their potential correctly, like Nanny's strength did not work with his plan. Their unrealistic dreams and corrupted society are the reasons for the eventual tragedy. From the poem we have studied, we can also see how we can gain happiness. In the poem After a While, the two quotes can give us some insights. The first, and you learn to build all your roads on today because tomorrow's is too uncertain for plans. It's great to plan, but living for today, in the moment, is sometimes the best way. Concern yourself with the most upcoming activities in your life if you are too stressed. The future can cause unnecessary worry, so live in this moment and enjoy your life. The second, after a while, you learn that even sunshine burns if you get too much. Too much of anything isn't a good thing. Achieve balance in all aspects of life and don't overindulge if it makes you selfish. Be content with what you own. A contented mind is a perpetual feast. 1984 also explains a key element of happiness, freedom. From the two quotes we can see, the first one, between freedom and happiness, what should we choose? In fact, they can't separate. If citizens are pressured by the snooping eyes of government surveillance, then how can they see the true world in front of them? Only knowing the fourth part of the world, they can't gain happiness. And the second quote, this quote is essential to the novel. Winston comes to the realization that the success of returning the party would come at a high cost, and most importantly, it would not be any time in the near future. This war over party would not be won in their lifetime. It indicates how hard to gain happiness in such a dystopian society. It also emphasizes that the strong bond between freedom and happiness. I also learned some lessons from the Socratic seminar we held before. The first lesson is that when the opinions of others reflect the false self-illusion of us, we need to take this opinion and try to change ourselves. In this case, we can develop ourselves. And also, we should trust our instinct. When people make judgments about us, we are supposed to value ourselves with both others' opinions and our own instinct. Besides, the format of Socratic seminar gives everyone chances to express their own opinions. The exchange of opinions between everyone gives us a chance to develop a more complete and thoughtful understanding of what we learn, and thus increasing our happiness. I would say that, although it is impossible to find one exact definition of happiness, as it is so complex, there are still numerous factors we can relate to happiness. Love, success, connection, friendship, freedom, and so on. To be happy is sometimes simple and sometimes hard, but if you want to be happy, you can definitely be. So, to get your own happiness and live a meaningful life.